Hello students, welcome to General Mathematics Lesson 2, which is Evaluating Functions. You're still with me, Teacher EJ, and Professor Einstein. For our learning competency, we have evaluates a function. And for our subtasks, evaluate functions and solve problems involving functions. For our definition, we have evaluating a function means replacing the variables in the function. In this case, x with a value from the function's domain and computing for the result. To denote that we are evaluating f at a for some a in the domain of f, we write f of a. So, given the variable x, ang kanyang value ay a, papalitan natin lahat ng x sa function ng a, which is yung a, part ng domain ng function. And then, we are going to evaluate it and aim for the result. Example 1. If f of x is equal to 3x minus 5, evaluate each. A, f of 4, B, f of negative 2, and C, f of 0. Hindi ito multiple choice. So, ang function na given natin ay f of x is equal to 3x minus 5, wherein ang ating mga given ay f of 4, f of negative 2, at f of 0. Ibig sabihin, yung 4, negative 2, at 0, lahat yon part ng domain ng function na f of x is equal to 3x minus 5. And if we're going to evaluate it, kunwari, letter A, isa-substitute natin yung 4 sa lahat ng x sa function. And then, we're just going to manipulate the function to have the result. Okay, so here is our solution for example 1. So, we have f of 4. We are going to substitute in the function f of x is equal to 3x minus 5. Lahat ng x, papalitan natin ng 4. So, f of 4 is equal to 3 times 4 minus 5 equals 3 times 4 is 12 minus 5. So, we have f of 4, 12 minus 5 is 7, and that is the answer for f of 4 equals 7. Next is f of negative 2. So, we rewrite the function f of x is equal to 3x minus 5. So, in place of x, we will write negative 2. f of negative 2 equals 3 times negative 2 minus 5 equals 3 times negative 2 is negative 6 minus 5. f of negative 2 equals negative 11. Pag pareho ang sign, tandaan, i-add, then rewrite the sign. Next, f of 0. So, we just rewrite the function f of x is equal to 3x minus 5. In place of x, we will write 0. f of 0 is equal to 3 times 0 minus 5. 3 times 0 is 0 minus 5. So, f of 0 equals 0 minus 5 is negative 5. So, that is our solution. Example 2. If g of x is equal to x squared minus 3x plus 2, evaluate each. A, g of negative 3, B, g of 2, and C, g of a plus 1. Inulit ko, hindi yan multiple choice. Ibig sabihin ng mga yan ay domain ng function na g of x is equal to x squared minus 3x plus 2. So, bawat isa ay isa-substitute natin sa variable na x para makakuha tayo ng value ni g of x. And so this is our solution for example 2. Our function is g of x is equal to x squared minus 3x plus 2. So our first is g of negative 3 and the second is g of positive 2. So let's just rewrite the function. G of x is equal to x squared minus 3x plus 2. So in place of x, we will write negative 3. G of negative 3 equals negative 3 squared minus 3 times negative 3 plus 2. G of negative 3 equals negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. Negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9 plus 2. G of negative 3 is 9 plus 9 is 18 plus 2 is 20. So our G of negative 3 is 20. Next, G of 2. So we will just rewrite the function which is g of x is equal to x squared minus 3x plus 2. So in place of x, we will just write 2. So g of 2 is equal to 2 squared minus 3 times 2 plus 2. So g of 2 equals 2 squared is 4, meaning 2 times 2 is 4. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6 plus 2. So g of 2 is equal to 4 minus 6 is negative 2 plus 2 is 0. Our g of 2 is 0. And for our last given, which is g of a plus 1, we have to rewrite the function g of x is equal to x squared minus 3x plus 2. In place of x, we will write a plus 1. So g a plus 1 is equal to, in place of x, we will write a plus 1. Quantity a plus 1 squared minus 3 times the quantity a plus 1 plus 2. So g of a plus 1 equals square the first term, which is a squared, multiply the first term and the second term, which is a, times 2, which is 2a, and square the last term, which is 1. Next, negative 3 times a is negative 3a. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3 plus 2. G of a plus 1, is equal to, rewrite a squared. We combine like terms. 2a minus 3a is negative a. Positive 1 minus 3 is negative 2 plus 2 is 0. So the final answer is g of a plus 1 is equal to a squared minus a. Example 3. If t of x is equal to x plus 1 over x minus 1, evaluate each. Letter A, t of negative 1, B, t of negative 5, and C, t of 0. For our example 3, our given function is t of x is equal to x plus 1 over x minus 1. So we have to find t of negative 1, t of negative 5, and t of 0. So first, let's have t of negative 1. So we rewrite the function t of x is equal to x plus 1 over x minus 1. So in place of x, we are going to replace by negative 1. T of negative 1 is equal to negative 1 plus 1 over negative 1 minus 1. So t of negative 1 equals negative 1 plus 1 is 0 over negative 1 minus 1 is negative 2. Tandaan, pagkapareho ang sign, i-combine. So t of negative 1, 0 divided by negative 2 is 0. Next, we have t of negative 5. So rewrite the function. So in place of x, we will write negative 5. T of negative 5 is equal to negative 5 plus x, plus 1 over negative 5 minus 1. So t of negative 5 equals negative 5 plus 1 is negative 4. Negative 5 minus 1 is negative 6. Just get the lowest term or simplify. T of negative 5 is positive 2/3. Next, t of 0. So rewrite the function t of x is equal to x plus 1 over x minus 1. In place of x, we will write 0. T of 0 is equal to 0 plus 1 over 0 minus 1. T of 0 is equal to 0 plus 1 is 1 over 0 minus 1 is negative 1. T of 0 is equal to negative 1. Positive 1 divided by negative 1 is negative 1. For our example 4, we have to solve a problem. The velocity v in meter per second of a ball thrown upward t seconds after the ball was thrown is given by v of t is equal to 20 minus 9.8 t. Calculate v of 0 and v of 1. So, dito sa problem na to, just visualize this one. You are holding a ball and tinapon mo siya pataas. So, a ball is thrown upward. So, the function is given, which is v of t is equal to 20 minus 9.8 t. Calculate v of 0, ibig sabihin yun yung initial time. T stands for the time. And v of 1, ibig sabihin that is the time after 1 second. So that is the velocity after 1 second. So you are going to calculate the velocity from the initial time, which is v of 0, up to the velocity, which is time is 1 second. And so this is our solution for our example 4. We have the function v of t is equal to 20 minus 9.8 t. We have to calculate the initial time, which is v of 0, and the velocity in 1 second, which is v of 1. So we just rewrite the function v of t is equal to 20 minus 9.8 times t. So just replace 0. V of 0 is equal to 20 minus 9.8 times 0. V of 0 is equal to 20 minus 9.8 times 0 is 0. So our V of 0 is 20 meters per second. So that is the initial time. We have the velocity 20 meters per second. Next, we have v of 1. So we will write the function. So in place of t, we will write 1 equals 20 minus 9.8 times 1. So v of 1 equals 20 minus 9.8 times 1 is 9.8. V of 1 is equal to 20 minus 9.8 is 10.2 meters per second. So that is the velocity at 1 second, 10.2 meters per second. Now let's have activity 1. Let f of x is equal to 2x squared minus 4x plus 6. Find f of negative 2, f of 0, f of 2, f of negative 3, and f of 4. Para mas ma-challenge kayo, pwede nyong i-post itong video na to bago nyo tingnan yung answer key. Kasi pagkatapos nitong slide na to is answer key na. So, post nyo muna, mag-solve muna kayo, and then tingnan nyo yung sagot kung tama o mali. And this is our answer key. So still we have the function f of x is equal to 2x squared minus 4x plus 6. So you have to find f of negative 2, and the answer is 22. For f of 0, we have 6. F of 2 is equal to 6. F of negative 3 is 36. And f of 4 is 22. Hopefully, tama yung mga sagot nyo. Now let's move on with activity 2. Let g of x is equal to 5x minus 8 over 2. Find g of negative 2, g of 0, g of 2, g of negative 3, and g of 4. So again, feel free to pause this video as you solve each given. And now we have the answer key for our activity 2. So the given is g of x is equal to 5x minus 8 over 2. So we have to find g of negative 2, which is negative 9. Our g of 0 is equal to negative 4. Our g of 2 is equal to 1. G of negative 3 is equal to negative 23 over 2. And g of 4 is equal to 6. For our assessment activity 1, we have find the value of each function given f of 3. So dito, ang given natin ay yung domain. And you are going to solve different functions. So number 1, you have to substitute 3 to all the x in f of x is equal to 2x minus 11. Number 2, f of x is equal to x squared minus 9. Number 3, f of x is equal to 2x squared minus 3x plus 1. Number 4, f of x is equal to 2x minus 5 over 3. Number 5, f of x is equal to 2x squared minus 1 over 2. For our number 6, we have f of x is equal to x squared minus 6x plus 10. Number 7, we have f of x is equal to quantity 2x minus 5 squared. Number 8, f of x is equal to x minus 4 over 2. So, lahat ng mga functions na given na yan, isa-substitute nyo ay 3. So, we will find for the answer f of 3. And now let's move on for the answer key. So same value, we have f of 3 and we have number 1, the function is f of x is equal to 2x minus 11 and the answer is negative 5. For number 2, our f of 3 is equal to 0. For number 3, we have 10. For number 4, we have 1/3. For number 5, we have 17 over 2. For number 6, we have f of 3 equals 1. Number 7, f of 3 equals 1 also. And number 8, f of 3 is equal to negative 1/2. Did you get all the answers? Very good. For our assessment 2, you have to solve the problem below. Number 1, the function a described a of s is equal to x squared square root of 3 over 4 gives the area of an equilateral triangle with side s. So find the area when a side measures 8 inches and find the area when a side measures 16 centimeters. And for the answers for our problem, we have find the area when a side measures 8 inches. We have 16 square root of 3 square inches. For letter B, find the area when a side measures 16 centimeters. We have 64 square root of 3 square centimeters. For our enrichment activity, we have this problem. The function c described by c of f is equal to 5 over 9 times the quantity f minus 32 gives the Celsius C temperature corresponding to the Fahrenheit F temperature. So you have to find the Celsius temperature equivalent to 14 degrees Fahrenheit. And B, find the Celsius temperature equivalent to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. So in this problem, given ang Fahrenheit temperature, so you're going to convert it into Celsius temperature. And the answer for this problem we have, for letter A, the equivalent of 14 degrees Fahrenheit is negative 10 degrees Celsius. And for letter B, the equivalent of 68 degrees Fahrenheit is 20 degrees Celsius. For our problem number 2, we have a computer shop charges 20 pesos per hour or a fraction of an hour for the first 2 hours and additional 10 pesos per hour for every succeeding hour. Find how much you would pay if you used one of their computers for 40 minutes, 3 hours, and 150 minutes. So this problem is an example of a piecewise function wherein for the first 2 hours or a fraction of 2 hour, kahit hindi mo natapos yung 2 hours, magbabayad ka pa rin ng 20 pesos. And then, every hour, magbabayad ka na ng additional na 10 pesos. So, first 2 hours, 20 pesos. For every succeeding hour, you're going to add 10 pesos. Magkano daw ang babayaran mo kung ginamit mo yung computer for 40 minutes, for 3 hours, at for 150 minutes. So for our solution, so how much are you going to pay kung ginamit mo yung kanilang computer for 40 minutes? So ito yung sagot. Syempre, hindi ka naman lumampas ng 2 hours, kaya 20 pesos pa rin yung babayaran mo. 40 minutes lang yung ginamit mong time, so 20 pesos lang. Next, for 3 hours, 50 pesos ang babayaran mo. So, lumampas ka na ng 2 oras. Next, 150 minutes ang babayaran mo ay 45 pesos. Thank you very much for listening, and hopefully you learned a lot from this video. Hope to see you next time again. Bye-bye!